Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Leo here. Caden, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. We just saw a nice snow game.
Yes, we did, and we got an absolutely amazing slate of exciting games coming up this weekend, at least for the college landscape.
Oh, yeah.
So let's hop straight into it, Caden. Tell us about the first matchup.
Yeah, our first game, we're going to start off in the morning. A nice two top 5 ranked teams, two Big Ten teams. You got Indiana, undefeated 10-0 Indiana traveling to Ohio State, where Ohio State is a 10.5 point favorite.
Yeah, Caden, even as good as Indiana's been playing this year, an emergence there in the Big Ten, going on the road in Ohio State is tough. It is going to be an extremely hard place to win. And I think, the reason why the line is so heavy is just the way that Ohio State has dominated at home. They've been there. They've done that. I am going to say, though, that this Indiana team goes ahead and covers, Caden.
Okay.
I think that they keep it within that under 10, because even if it's they lose by 10 points, they still cover.
You're good. Yep.
Although I do think Ohio State wins this football game.
Yeah, one thing to note in this game is, even just 2 days ago, the spread was 13.5 in favor of Ohio State.
Yes.
So it's been bet down a lot towards Indiana, but I like this 10.5 a lot more than I like the 13.5. I'm gonna ride with the Buckeyes here. Curtis Rourke has looked really good this year, but also, though, we haven't seen Indiana play anyone good.
That is true.
Their strength of schedule sucks. In Ohio State, we've seen them against two top teams this year in Oregon and Penn State. In both games, they kept. They were two
good games.
Yeah, they had a bad loss against Oregon, but they were able to put up points when they needed to. Same with against Penn State. They put up points, not only that, but they also won that game at Penn State. So they have a lot more high-level matchups ahead of them, and I think against this more inexperienced Indiana team, Ohio State will come out with the win in the cover.
Caden, it's going to be, like I said, come down to quarterback play. We always talk about these big matchups, which quarterback's not going to make, the mistakes. And I think if Indiana limits their mistakes offensively, they keep it close, they'll be able to cover.
Yeah, if Curtis Rourke can have a game without turning the ball over, getting the ball out quick where it needs to go, they would have a good chance.
It is, but like you mentioned, it's going to be tough. Excited for that one.
Yeah, one big thing, though, it seems like for Indiana, they need to keep this close if they want to stay in the college football playoff picture. If they can keep it within that 10 points, it's a lot bigger in the committee's eyes.
Yes, it is.
They kept it within one score with Ohio State. They're going to have a little more favor over a Tennessee or something.
I definitely think that's a great point to bring up, Caden. This last 2 weeks, this last stretch of college football is crazy.
Yep.
It's coming down, and the Big Ten is, all these conferences are really wide open, so that's important to note.
Now, though, we have back-to-back Big 12 games to talk about, both with huge implications of the possible Big 12 championship to see who will end up going to the college football playoff.
Yes.
First off, we got your Buffaloes, who are traveling to the Kansas Jayhawks, where the game will be played at Arrowhead Stadium. Your Buffs are a 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, Caden, obviously we talked about this Kansas team. This is a no-joke deadly team. They're getting, going late at the right time, and they're ready to play spoiler, Caden. They've upset Iowa State
and
BYU.
Back-to-back weeks.
They're rolling. They got the momentum. And, at Arrowhead, Kansas has had to play their games. They've had to play conference games at Arrowhead this year.
Yep.
That is going to be an insane environment.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the fact that they're at home
yeah.
is a favor.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is an advantage for them.
If this game was at CU, the Buffs are probably about a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, and I think, you front a lot better as a Colorado Buffaloes fan or a player. But that being said, I still think CU is the better team. I still think they're going to take care of business. CU has shown that they've started to put together consistency and that they could beat these teams that they're supposed to beat on paper. I like them to cover because if they're going to win, it's going to be by a field goal or more. So I like Colorado to cover. I do think that with Michael Welch back in the lineup, the running game will be a little more revamped, revitalized because it's been atrocious,
Yep.
With him beat up, him gone. Dallin Hayden and Augusta have been kind of inconsistent. Augusta had a late breakage against that Utah game, but, that game was it was a blowout, Caden. So I do think that Colorado still is going to win this week.
Yeah, I'm really indifferent with this game. I can see it going really either way. We've seen the way Kansas has played as well, especially their defense is starting to step up. Obviously, Jalen Daniels in the offense is starting to play more like...
And he's not turning over the football.
Exactly. They're starting to play more like these preseason expectations that we had with the Jayhawks. Really, yeah, like against Iowa State and against this BYU team just last week, we've seen their defense really step up. Only allowing 13 points to that BYU offense is a really good job. And, I don't know. I'm really uncertain with this. You'll see, Shadur might throw his first play interception again. like he's done
He's
all
done it
season.
twice, yeah.
But usually he's been bouncing back from it. I don't know. Like, it'll really depend. Like, if they can force the ball, like the turnover from Shadur, maybe get a fumble or something. It's going to come down to, I think, the Jayhawks defense will be the deciding factor. With that being said, I do think I'm going to take Kansas in this game to cover. I might even do a little bit on their money line. I think it'll be a really good game, a little close game, but I do like Kansas in this one. Why are you looking at me like that?
That's a horrible take.
Yeah?
I just have to disagree with you on that one, kid. And I think our picks will reflect that.
Yeah?
When we talk about this Monday night.
All right, we'll see. Big game Saturday.
It's going to be a great game.
Hey, another big game, though, in the Big 12 on Saturday with huge Big 12 championship implications. Is the BYU Cougars traveling to face the ASU Sun Devils, where the Sun Devils are not only favored, but they're a 3-point favorite in this matchup.
Caden, I like the Sun Devils. This is a team that's been hot all season long. They've had early a little bit of an inconsistent stretch. They had 2 losses. But they're rolling. They're firing. And I think with a BYU team that's, down, they've been punched on, Caden.
Yep.
I think this is a prime opportunity for them at home to jump on a BYU team that's going to be down in the dumps on themselves. And I think they do come out with the victory, Caden, and do cover.
Yeah, obviously, they have Cam Scatterbo, who's one of these, upper-tier running backs this year in college football. But also, I think this spread is a little overreactionary to last week. If you probably look ahead to the look-ahead lines probably before the games last Saturday, I'd assume BYU would have been a 3-point favorite themselves.
Yes, correct.
And now you see this, and it's completely 1-8. I think what we've seen is a little bit of an overreaction in ASU's favor. I think 3 is a little high. Well, I could easily see them winning this game.
With them being at home, too?
I know they're at home. I don't
Okay.
I just think these are 2 really evenly matched up teams. But I think I don't know if BYU will win this game, but I do like them to cover in the 3.
All right, Caden. There was another disagreement. It's going to be
3-3.
exciting. We're going to be going against each other.
Yeah. Now we got my Longhorns, though, in this afternoon slate, who are at home against the Kentucky Wildcats, where the Longhorns are a 20-point favorite.
Caden, this Kentucky team is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they've, demonstrated that they've actually been able to be compatible and got some quality wins.
They beat Missouri early in the season when they were still good.
Yes, exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of get rallied up and, play Texas close enough. The fact that this is 20.5 is really dirty.
20 even.
Or 20 even is really dirty. Just because the fact that you get that 3 touchdowns and
the cover.
In the cover. But, Caden, I think Kentucky, is able to limit one possession from Texas to maybe a field goal rather than a touchdown. And if they can keep it, 17 points, 18 points, regardless, they still cover. And I think that this Texas team has demonstrated that they are, a top team. I just think that Kentucky's going to find a way to play them weird, Caden. And Texas has, kind of kept it close sometimes, even when we've expected them not to.
Yeah, I'm with you. Our first agreement of the week. I see this kind of, going more like a Vandy game, maybe kind of like the Arkansas game.
My exact thought.
We've seen Kentucky play a lot of these upper SEC teams close. Even, like we said, beat Missouri early in the year when Missouri was still one of the top teams.
Yes.
And Texas is obviously great at home. That Florida game was their best showing of the year offensively, except
most definitely
against an SEC opponent, except for the early years against CSU and that
whatever.
or whatever. But this should be, I think, an easy win for Texas. But the 3 touchdowns, I think, just might kind of seem a little large. You saw the line earlier in the week at 21.5, so it's been bet down to this 20. So which should indicate a lot of the sharper money is coming in on the Wildcats. And I'm going to kind of ride with them there. I think Texas should get the win. Quinn should have another good game. I just don't really know if they'll be able to cover the 23 touchdown spread.
Yeah, because even, Texas could get up 4 touchdowns, 28 points, and then, Kentucky scored a touchdown. They want to go for 2 something. You get a push.
Exactly.
But it's a lot of different scenarios, and that, like we've talked about all season, when these lines are so drawn out, so long, and how competitive college football has been, those aren't always guaranteed anymore like they might have been a couple years ago, Caden. So I'm really excited to see these games.
Now our nightcap here, ranked-on-ranked matchup at Yankee Stadium of all places. You have your undefeated Army team going against Notre Dame, where Notre Dame is a 14-point favorite.
Caden, I'm surprised Notre Dame's only a 14 favorite. I'm going to be honest. This Army team's awesome. Great storyline, undefeated. They've been able
Better than Navy, I'd say.
Better than Navy. They've been able to run the football.
Oh, yeah.
not just effectively, but dominantly, Caden. And that's the whole reason why they've been so successful.
Bryson Daly has 23 rushing touchdowns, and he's their quarterback.
Correct. That being said, you're going against a Notre Dame team that is physical defense. Yep. We saw what they did to Navy earlier in the year. And that was a team that's a heavy run game team as well. These, military schools are going to try to run the football. I think they've known, how to attack a team like this. They're experienced. And I just think they're the better team, Caden. I think they'll have no problem making this 14-point cover. And I wouldn't be surprised if they even ended up being uglier than that.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. Yeah, Army's been a great story this year. Undefeated. They're going to play in their conference championship game, but against Tulane, which actually that could be a pretty good game.
It could be a really good game.
But like we said, yeah, we've already seen them against a triple option heavy team in Navy, and they demolished them.
Yes.
Now you get to face another one who's also, they're good for a group of 5 team.
Yes.
But
it's a group of
5. They're not going to be able to compete with the Fighting Irish, with Riley Leonard and Notre Dame. And yeah, like you said, I could easily see Notre Dame winning this game by 20 or more.
Most definitely. Now, we've talked about with Notre Dame expectations. They sell. Just thought we'd bring it up, but let's move on.
Don't worry, they'll still probably make the playoffs, lose first round, because that's what they do every year.
Every year. Now let's talk about Caden. NFL.
NFL, baby.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah, our first game of the NFL slate is my New England Patriots are going to Miami to face the Dolphins, where the Patriots are not the Patriots. Actually, the Patriots are a 7.5-point underdog.
Caden, 7.5 points is a lot of points. That being said, this Dolphins team is starving. They are clawing desperately to try and keep their playoff hopes alive. Yep. They are right on the brim of being eliminated. I think a loss is so detrimental to them that Mike McDaniel knows that. They're going to be doing everything in their power to come out with a victory. But this Miami Dolphins team is bad.
They're not that good.
They're not that good this year. And if this was, straight up 7, I would have liked it for the Dolphins. I think the Patriots,
with that hook in there,
Caden, actually do cover this, even though they're not going to win the football game. I don't think the Dolphins are good enough to win by more than a touchdown.
See, I'm with you again on this one. Yeah, I think the hook really sells it towards the Patriots.
Yes.
Because, you lose by a touchdown, whatever. You still cover. And, Drake May's been improving week in, week out. And obviously, this Dolphins defense isn't great. Yeah. Their offense obviously has its weapons with Achane, Tyreek. Waddle's having a really bad year. So, please can we just have Gonzo shadow Tyreek this week? Kind of knock him out the game, make Jalen Waddle have a big game, make Achane have a big game where...
You think Gonzo could shadow Tyreek the whole game without getting burnt?
He did last year. Before his shoulder got torn. He had a great game that week. But also, I think this week, it's going to come down to... We have Christian Barmore back. It's great to see him back on the field, come back from blood clots.
Tackle. Good to see him back.
Yep.
Yes.
It's glad he's healthy and back. He played a little bit last week. You would expect the snap count to increase this week, and he's great. He's really good in that interior D line to help stop the run. And the big problem with this defense has been stopping the run this year.
Yes,
if you can limit the Achane Mostert little duo, you can really keep this game close, especially with the way May's been improving. The whole offense as a whole has been improving through week by week since he's become the starter. I do think the Dolphins will, like you said, win this game. But the Patriots will be able to keep it within that touchdown.
It's going to be, one of those interesting games. Now, at the same time, Dolphins could come out on fire and just blow you guys out of the water.
It very well could
That being said, I just don't see it happening.
Let's talk about your Broncos next, though.
Yes, let's.
Who are going to Vegas to face the Raiders. The Broncos are a 6-point favorite.
Yeah, again, 6 points is actually a lot of points considering this team has never won in Vegas before.
But the Raiders
suck. And you have Big Bo, who is absolutely finding his rhythm. We just saw him coming off his best game as a rookie quarterback. AFC Player of the Week, AFC Rookie of the Week. I don't see a reason why Broncos don't carry this momentum into Las Vegas. They beat the Raiders last time, even when they started off really poor. And I think they're going to have a recipe now. And I think Bo Nix is just so much confident, so much more comfortable. And playing a team he's already beaten, for surely he's going to be, in the back of his conscience. And I think the Broncos ride away with at least a touchdown victory, which is good enough for a cover.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm in a picks against the spread league where we pick against the spread in every NFL game. I've been honored the Raiders with a couple of these big spreads trying to think they can cover. And they just find ways to not.
Yes.
They'll keep the game close for the first half, then just stink it up in the second half. Minshew's not a starting quarterback. They have no run game. They have no number one receiver. Brock Bowers is their lone bright spot. He's been amazing. He's been what everyone thought Brock Bowers would be. He's actually leading all rookies in receiving yards.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
He's been amazing. But other than that, they're an awful football team. This should be an easy win for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's a Max Crosby and it's Brock Bowers, and then it's a bunch of ugliness over there for the silver and black, Caden.
Yeah, we got a big NFC matchup here, though, in the afternoon slate, where the 49ers are traveling to Lambeau to face the Packers, where the Packers are a 3-point favorite.
Caden, this 49ers team has underperformed this year. And we've talked about them all season, and I just don't see a reason why we should put any stock into them going into Lambeau to beat Jordan Love and the Packers team, which, you know, although they've had their rocky season, they haven't been as consistent as we may have thought coming into this year. I still think they're the better football team right now, and I think at home, especially Matt LaFleur and company, are going to take care of business and beat the 49ers.
Yeah, this line actually seems a little underpriced.
I agree.
Like, I would have expected like a 4.5 point spread in this one. Because, I mean, they let Geno lead a crazy game-winning drive last week and let him scramble for a big touchdown to win the game.
God.
Like, when you should have won that game easily. Your offense isn't being able to move the ball this year. And when you get down to the red zone, you're not scoring touchdowns. You're settling for field goals. Jake Moody's been a little iffy after his great start to the season.
That's true. And it's almost like Brock Purdy seems to have been gotten figured out by defenses.
Exactly, yeah. He's definitely seemed like he's been regressing from the first 2 years in the NFL. Yeah, like you said, the Packers have been a little inconsistent. It took a blocked field goal for them to beat the Bears last week.
Yeah.
But even then, I still have more trust in Jordan Love than Brock Purdy. And, I mean, the Niners are still waiting on this big breakout return to form Christian McCaffrey game. And while it looked a little better last week, he had over 100 scrimmage yards. He still hasn't scored since he's been back. He still hasn't broken some big play. The Niners are a very down football team right now, and just a not great football team by any means. Yeah, this should be a win and a cover for Green Bay.
I agree.
Let's get to our primetime games here now, though, where Sunday night is the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the LA Rams, where the Eagles are a 2.5 point favorite.
Caden, this game is actually one I'm looking forward to because it has the potential to be very good.
This has a chance to be a really good football game.
With the way both of these offenses have shown to put up points in the past, at least over the years, Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, there's a reason why it was selected as a primetime game. Now, that being said, I think 2.5 is a very tight line. I don't think the game will be that close, if I'm being honest. I kind of think, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are going to figure it out this one and, put together a quality game. Because even if they win by, a field goal, they cover.
Obviously.
So I like the Eagles. I think they're a slightly better team than the Rams are right now. And the way the Rams have been beat up and inconsistent. And, they kind of find ways to lose games this year. True. I think, this is when the Eagles have been there, done that. They've been in prime time consistently, and they're going to secure victory.
Yeah, it's another one, though, I'm a little iffy with.
It is.
It's hard to tell, but, I trust Sean McVay a lot more than Sirianni, who's just a bad coach. Yeah. I think everyone knows that now. Sirianni's not good at his job, but they made it to a Super Bowl, so he's got that job security for at least a couple more years. But I don't
know about a couple.
But at least
through a year.
At least maybe another year.
Yeah, maybe.
But then you look at the Rams, their offense, it seems like they're finally starting to get back into form. Stafford's looking good. Kupp and Puka both being healthy has been monumental for this offense.
That victory against
Yeah. Stafford threw for 295, 4 tutties, no turnovers. He looked great. Kupp, Puka looked great. Kyron's still doing his thing on the ground. It's just, yes, the Eagles are a good football team and they're on this hot streak. I'm still not high on the Eagles by any means. I'm not high on either of these teams, but I'm just not high on the Eagles. I still think the commies at 3-1 to win the division is not a bad bet right now. If you can get them, because they still play another time and it'll be in Washington, them to win the division is actually a little bet to look at if you're looking at the future. But when you look at this game, I don't know. I think it should be a really good football game, but I'm going to lean the Rams in this one.
Okay, kid.
Now, though, to end our week, another good primetime.
This is going to be a great game.
They were good on primetime games this week.
Yes, they were.
We have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to LA to face the Chargers, where the Ravens are a 2.5 point favorite.
Caden, this is the battle of the brothers. I'm excited to see Harbaugh versus Harbaugh again. Monday Night Football. This game's going to be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be good. That being said, I'm riding with John Harbaugh and the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. They lost last week,
yes, they did.
in an ugly fashion. And what has they done after every single early loss? They come out firing,
Oh, yeah.
Pete off the next game. And I think that's what we're going to come out to see. I think the players are going to be riled up, wanting to play for their coach, wanting to get that victory for him. And I think Derrick Henry in that offense is going to be a little too much for a Chargers D. That's been really good.
Except for last week.
But I do think that they're going to make the plays, the Ravens offense are going to make the plays offensively to propel them to a victory.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the Chargers offense looked really great last week on primetime and Sunday Night Football. And I mean, this Ravens defense isn't good this year. So I really could see this being like a more high-scoring primetime game, which we haven't gotten a lot of this year. Yeah, I do think the Ravens offense will be able to overpower the Chargers offense. While Herbert's still great, and I mean, Ladd McConkey's looking like a great rookie wide receiver.
They're coming along.
Their running game's still not really there. Like, J.K. Dobbins isn't doing much. Gus Edwards not doing much. It's just, I really think, like you said, Lamar, Derrick Henry, I mean, Zay Flowers, all of the above.
The
going to be able
to,
the big explosive offense that is the Ravens will be able to overpower this Chargers defense and outscore the offense and be able to get that 2.5-point cover.
Most definitely. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be electric. Caden, what should these people do before they go?
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, share it to all your friends, families, and everything. Look out, follow the social medias because we're going to start be posting shorts for some of the big games for the weekend. We're also going to have our best bets posted for every primetime game and then for Saturdays and Sundays as well. So make sure you look at that as well.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next time.